But circumstances and situations such as health, such as the death of a spouse or someone in their family, such as abrupt losing of a job, all of those spiral people into a situation that they never thought they would be in. And I was almost there. I thank God every day that I didn't have to take the full pushover, but it created a mindset of empathy that not only do I never want to be there, but God willing, if I have the ability to ensure others don't get there, then I have a mission. I have a purpose in what God took me through in order to serve others. There's, again, like I said, numerous types of homelessness. There are people that do choose. You know, lots of times we see people and we say, they make the choice. They could get a job. Guys, how's unemployment today? We have people graduating from college with master's degrees, PhD degrees, and I am not, young man, young lady, I appreciate you guys being in here, young ladies. I am not at all trying to say education is not valuable, so I need you to listen to both sides of this story. But education is not the end to your strive for success. It is not the end. There are many people today here who are educated with degrees and still cannot get a job. So unemployment and homelessness is not indicative of your education, your background, anything. So you have to remember that, you know, this is becoming very competitive. There's a type of person who chooses it. There's a type of person that life just happens and something puts them in that situation. And then there's some people, you know, with mental illnesses or other issues that spiral into it. But there's three main factors that contribute to homelessness. It's low socioeconomic areas in which we live in. It is low wages. Look at us fighting hard to double minimum wage right now. I think it's $7.25, and people are fighting to get it up to $15. And guys, I'm not trying to go political in here, but political factors pay a contribution to whether that happens or not. And who can survive off of $7.25 an hour? How many of us have parents that have tried to survive off of $7.25 an hour? Right, it's not surviving. There are people today that are losing so much, and do you know what the first thing is that they sacrifice to survive? Family and food. If I have a choice to pay my rent or buy food, how many of us have lived in a place where we had to choose to pay rent before we could feed our children? Right, and how many of you as children recall not being able to eat the things that you wanted to when you want to because you know your mother is having to make the choice to keep a roof over your head? Guys, that's a huge sacrifice that's being made about or from members of our community, from our members of our family. And we need to be conscious and aware and educated of this as a matter and an issue that is not only within our neighborhood, within our community, within our family, but is something that could touch us personally. So again, I just want to continue to commend Jamel and Stephanie for what they're doing, taking this mission, that even though people are showing up in few, my spirit tells me that people are going to be showing up in large numbers as he continues to stay committed to this cause. And I am so proud and thankful for somebody that's committed to their mission like that. I have shared with so many people, I have heard this man hustle and bustle and say, I'm going to do no matter what. And that is the mindset of a winner. That is the mindset of a life changer. Somebody who's going to make a big difference, but we can do the same. I heard you request money, and I know it's hard, guys. I know it's hard to get up off $1 and $5, but it makes a difference. It really does. It's the little things that we do. And even if you can't give up your finances, give up your time. Because I do travel around speaking on finances. I have a book coming out, No More Money Stress. Check it out. But, you know, it is something that I always tell people. We want to give, am I in the church or outside of the church? I think a little bit outside. Okay, a little bit outside. So, you know, I have people all the time asking me about tithing, and I'm all about giving. But, you know, you have to make sure that if you cannot tithe financially, tithe of your time. So get behind, rally behind, and support the mission of Jamel and Stephanie and what they're doing. If you can't give money, what can I do to make this event successful next year? I'm here to help you next year because I do believe in what you're doing. Because if you next year decide to walk in here and bring just 3 more people with you besides for the one that's sitting here, the numbers triple. The change triples. The impact triples. Stay committed, stay behind this young man and this young lady in their mission and in their vision to make a difference. Because you're going to hope when you're in that situation that someone does it for you. Because that's all I needed when I was in that situation. I grew up, guys, with the mindset that poverty was okay. I thought that that was normal. When I got married, you know, they would hang those things on my door to say, you know, your lights are going to be shut off tomorrow. I don't think they give that courtesy anymore. They used to hang. That, to me, is how I knew bills were due. I didn't know they came in the mail and gave me 30 days to pay a bill. So it was a mindset that I had of just surviving day to day. I didn't know how to plan or think or plant seeds that allowed for a better situation for me when I was in a situation that was not in my favor at that time. So I had to learn, you know, when I got in, my husband was like, Lisa, this is not right. Didn't it come in the mail? What? I didn't know that that's how things happen. We lived in a hotel growing up because my mother could pay the rent day to day in a hotel. She couldn't come up with it monthly. She couldn't come up with it bi-weekly, but she had to have a way to come up with it day to day. Guys, that's not a lifestyle that you want to live, but it's a lifestyle that I thought was normal. And I just recently spoke at a conference in Oklahoma and came to a revelation. The first year that I made $3 million, you would think, oh gosh, I was donating. I was flying first class everywhere. I was living the life. So even though my bank account had changed, what had not changed? My mindset. I was still an ignorant rich lady. That's what I was, which led to making more financial mistakes, which led to me not planting good seeds to create great things for this young lady sitting over here, Madison, my daughter, so that she could make good decisions. Look at God moving. He's letting the lights go in and out to say, God, make a difference. I got you. I'm in there. Okay? So I was not doing it, and I had to learn all over again. And I had to learn the hard way, and I was at risk of losing everything again. And as my mindset changed, I had to recognize who was my company. Who was I around? What was the mindset of the people that I allowed to pour into me every day? I needed people that were okay with me saying, honey, I can't afford to go to lunch with you. I just can't. I needed to be okay with that. And people don't want to say no. We're ashamed to say what we don't have. People will talk about infidelity, homosexuality, transgender, anything that they want to bring up before they'll talk about their money. Because that defines us. Numbers define us. Your credit score defines your character. Your bank account defines your character. The number at the end of your car, whether it's an S300 or S500, correct, defines your character. If you got a BMW 3 Series, you got a little bit of money. If you got a 7 Series, that says to people you got a whole lot more money, correct? Or so you would think. But I've had some 7 Series and was broke. Okay, but I sure looked good, and that's all that mattered. But I had to watch who I was around. Sometimes, you got to be ready. Are you ready for this one?
Go ahead.
Sometimes my own family. Okay? That doesn't mean that they disliked me or I disliked them or that I wasn't supporting them or they didn't have my best interest. They just didn't have my dream and my vision that God had instilled in me. The purpose that He had for me. My mother doesn't have to have that dream. My sister doesn't have to have that dream. God gave it to me and a purpose for me. And I had to recognize loving me doesn't mean that you agree with me or that you share my vision or that you share my purpose. Loving me means you just accept me for who I am, and I have to keep doing what I do. So sometimes I had to, make sure that I dealt with my cousins as cousins and dealt with my professionals as I decided to grow myself in a different way. So I go back to, the places that my family lives that may not be ideal, but that's where they're comfortable, and that's where we love each other at. I moved my mother out of the projects into a nice house. As soon as that lease was up, she moved back into the projects. And I recognized that was her place of comfort. That's where she was familiar. But I love her the same, and I go see her and do everything the same that I do because I recognize that's where God intends for her to be. But I want us to really focus on, making sure that we understand that this is the mission and the vision and the purpose that God has laid in Jermel and Stephanie and this community outreach program is to create awareness, create education, to increase resources around homelessness. And you being here today that you understand that as a mission, because you're supporting what he's doing, just your presence. In the rain, in the cold, all the way out here. I think I saw a sign that said I was in Franklin County, hallelujah. So you came all the way out here because you believe in what he's doing, what they are doing. And I need you to continue. So I want you guys to be aware that this is a huge issue within our community. As she said, I deal with mental health and substance abuse. And, a lot of people say, I don't have mental health issues. How many people in here ever experience stress? I'm distressed. Depressed. And depression doesn't mean that that's months. You can be depressed for days, just a few days at a time. Depressed that someone is not hearing what you have to say. Depressed that you're trying to do everything you can and give it all that you have, but nothing seems to be working out. Guys, that's a form of a mental illness. That for some people, they can pull back out of it, and for some, they spiral into a place that's just not recoverable for some time period, which leads to, problems with employment, which leads to problems with their money, which leads to bad decisions. So it's real. It touches us way more than we want to sometimes acknowledge, because sometimes it's fearful to say, I'm one paycheck away from homelessness and I need to make some changes today. Make sure that you're first and foremost aware and conscious of your own financial situation, that you're doing what you need to be doing. But secondly, make sure that you're pouring into the community where our children and our youth live and will grow up and contribute to one day. I'm one of these people, I love those little Africa, whatever they call us, and the little children, $2. I'm all about it, but I want to change the community that I live in first. First and foremost. So do what you can. Give what you can. And as I said, even if nothing is raised here financially today, don't leave here without asking what can you do to make this event what it needs to be next year. And then those 3 other people that come next year, we're going to give a call to action to ask them to bring 3 more people. This venue is not going to serve where this mission is going. But remember that you were the seeds that started it today by believing and supporting and understanding. Because that day is going to come or could come where you need it or somebody who needs it, and it's going to be the very people in this room that can reach back and make a difference for you and give to you, or somebody that's been touched by the organization that's serving you all here today. So I promised Jamil I would not take a lot of time, but I did want to make sure that I kind of let you know who I am. As she said, I don't want you thinking I'm coming up here talking about homelessness and I don't understand it, because I've almost been there. Living in a hotel is pretty darn close to homeless. And struggling and being without. Going into debt, every day I was afraid of being homeless again, with my children, with my husband, with my family, didn't know what to do. Making money and still not knowing what to do because no one even educated me on what to do once I started making money. My mother used to always say to me, get you a nice car. I want you to have a nice, house. And guess what? I got all of that, but she didn't tell me how to keep it. And I lost every bit of it. I had cars repossessed. I had houses that I was put out of or put into foreclosure. So guys, you really have to be conscious about your money, conscious about your choices, and conscious about your mindset. This education piece is important and it's significant in learning how to survive, how to do things, and understanding what success is. I hate to ask, but are you guys like in high school? You guys?
Them 2 are.
22? Girl, who is your mother? I want you. What about you guys? You're a senior in high school? Okay. And you, sir? Huh? You're what?
Freshman.
Freshman in high school? Is that what you... Speak up! Be proud of yourself. You're a freshman in high school? And you, lady? Young lady? I'm 23? Okay, what is going on with all these jeans? I want to drink what they are drinking. You guys look great.
He's in high school.
You're in high school, and look at you working and serving, and you look amazing. I'm so proud. I'm proud of every one of you that's here. But you guys are, 20, high school, whatever the case may be, you're the key. You guys are the key.
Excuse me.
And how old are you? 15? 17? I'll be tearing it up. 17? 15, okay, and Jamel's gonna kill me for taking them more time, but you know what, as a black woman looking at black women and you know, girl, I'm gonna call you black today, hallelujah. Whoever's in this room, I want you guys to take so much pride. When someone asks you a question, don't be talking, oh, that already tells me a whole lot about you.